This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
The faith behind the newfound fame. Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Chris Lomax. You may have seen the Hornell, New York man's amazing story on CBS recently, but that piece had a big missing piece: the role Chris's faith played in his success story as a legally blind baker. Has that brought you some newfound fame there, getting on network TV like that?
Yeah, it has. It's been crazy because already in Hornell, it's a small town, and a lot of people know me because I'm a big guy, and I'm the only blind person in Hornell, so a lot of people knew me. But now a lot of people know more about me. When you see someone on TV, they're like, oh, well, let me go walk up to them now. So they, come up to me and talk to me, and I'll be picking out apples at Wegmans, and someone's like, oh my gosh, hi. And I'm like, hi. But yeah, it's been crazy.
All the friends you didn't realize you had until suddenly, boom. Network television being what it is, you didn't really get a chance to explore the faith side of your very amazing story. So we'll go back here, trace back real quick. You've been legally blind since about 5 years old.
Yeah, I had a brain tumor that damaged the optic nerve and caused me to lose my sight.
From what I also understand, your love of baking goes back about that far, if not farther.
Yeah, I loved desserts, and I loved baking with my grandma, my step-grandma. She always was in the kitchen baking. I remember every holiday she'd be making something, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. I would always ask her, can I help you? Can I do something? And she, how parents are, they're like, or grandma, well, you could do this, and give you something simple. And I'm like, well, listen, I could sift the flour, that's fine. And that was cool. And then as you get older, you lose track of things, and I lost track of that. And I'm like, I want to bake something. So I would make little muffins to take to school or make brownies. Nothing crazy. But then as I got older, I went to college and wasn't happy in college. And then after that, I found myself back in baking. And I'm like, oh, let's see what I can remember from when I was little. So
let's explore your faith journey here. Does that go back to your early childhood as well?
I always went to church growing up. I went to a lot of churches. First, I was going to the St. Anne's Church, and then I went to a couple other churches. I found myself wanting to get closer to God, but there were certain areas where I couldn't understand, I wasn't connecting. I was like, well, I'm going to church, but I'm not connecting with God. For a while, I stepped away, couldn't find anything. And my mom introduced me to this one new church that she found interesting. She started taking me there, and then she got busy with work. I just continued to go. I was going there for a couple years, and then I talked to the pastor about being baptized. So I'm like, I've never been baptized growing up. And he was like, oh, okay. And so we went through the process, and I was baptized. Mm-hmm. I was 14, I believe. And from there, everything was great. I connected with people more. And the thing is, I always tell people that when you get baptized, it's not like, boom, you're clean, you're good now. It's letting your family and your church family know that, hey, I'm ready to get closer to God. I'm getting that one step closer. So that was really cool. And then I continue to go to this church, and I've been there ever since. This church has been the place that I've been since I was 14, and I'm 29 now. Yeah,
I understand you play piano, worship leader, a deacon. This is at the First Baptist Church of Hornell, so you really did find a solid church home there, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm a deacon. I've been a deacon there for almost a year and a half now. I play the piano for offertory and just random parts in the service wherever they need me. Slowly getting better and better at playing the piano.
Tell me about how you're dealing with your sight issues intertwined with your growing faith.
One thing about the blind community is that we often get looked at as just a blind person. And that's one thing I was having issues with. The church was one place I knew I could go where people would see me as a human and not just a blind person. End of last year, I had some issues with finding work and finding what's the next step for me. I work at Lowe's, and I felt like being a greeter at Lowe's, that was great, but there was more for me to do. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where I was depressed because I knew there was nothing else for me in Hornell. I've applied everywhere, and this gets to a point where you can apply 7,000 times, but you just know, well, I'm not going to keep applying because there's no reason. And so I was depressed, and I didn't know what to do. I always pray before I go to bed, when I wake up. But one thing I struggled with for a while there, and I'm trying to get away from it, is I try not to pray for myself. I felt like that was selfish. I asked for prayers, but I felt like I wanted to pray for my family because I love my family the most. Like, they're my biggest blessing, and so I pray for them, but I never prayed for myself. And so during this depression time, I was trying to pray for myself more. And then the one day at church, we have a time where people ask for prayers, and we pray for them in that moment. They had this time, and I was sitting there, and I was like thinking, and I'm like, I need to pray. And I asked for prayers, saying how I'm depressed, and I let people know that I'm struggling. I don't know what God has for me and where I'm supposed to go next, but I just pray that there's an answer might come. And then after that, I continued to pray for myself and ask for my friends and family to pray for me. And at first, nothing happened. And I always say this, you can pray to God, ask for something. It's not going to come right away, because it all comes within the time that it needs to be coming. And so a month and a half later, a lady came up to me and asked me if I would be interested in doing a news story for the Hornell Sun. And I'm like, you know what? Sure. At the time, I was baking from home, selling my baked goods to my friends and family. And I'm like, well, this will help me get my business going. And at the end of the news story, I told her about my baking, and she put that in the story. And I was like, this will be great. And then I didn't get much more business, and I was sad. And I asked God, I'm like, there has to be something. And then I started making plans to get out of Hornell, go somewhere that would have better opportunities for the blind. Less than a month after that newspaper came out, I got a call from Joe Ricolto, and he asked me if I'd be interested in being their baker. And that right there was, I'm just like, yeah. And I was like excited. And then I was like, wait a second. And then I was like, God, is this it? And then I'm like, all right, you know what? Let's run with it. And so I gave them little sampler dishes of like different things I can bake. And then I've been baking here since the end of January, beginning of February. And it's been a blessing ever since, having interviews with CBS News, Spectrum News, and that was just a blessing. And the thing is that for Spectrum and CBS, I wanted to tell them that, this is a blessing. If it wasn't for the prayers and the thoughts from my church family and my friends and family, I wouldn't be standing here. I wouldn't be baking. I'd probably be in North Carolina doing something. And I had to express that. And I know how TV goes. You can't fit everything in. And I say this every day. I pray to God every day. I say, God, I want to thank you for all the blessings you give me. I always say that I can't thank God enough. If I were to say thank you until the day I die, it still wouldn't be enough, because I'm so thankful that I've been able to do this, and being able to bake and live my life and do the things I enjoy doing is just a blessing.
That's a wonderful story. The networks told the story that a door was open, but you're telling the story that God opened that door for you.
Yes. Yeah. God opened the door for me, and I feel like there's a lot more to come. I've been baking in this kitchen for half a year now, and it's getting me one step closer to my dream of owning my own bakery. That's going to be so great. I can't wait till that happens within time. Obviously, everyone wants that instant gratification, but I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to take a step back and let God take the wheel.
Well, there's a lot of good lessons you just passed along there.
I want people to know that look at someone, don't look at them because say that, oh, they're blind or they're autistic or they're deaf. Look at them as a person. Know that they're blind. Know that they're autistic. Know whatever they have going on. Look at them as a human and as a person. Get to know them. Let them show you what they got. And you'll be surprised and you'll be amazed what people can give you or show you. When they have a disability, I hate to speak for all the blind community, but we are blind. But us being blind makes us more determined to show what we got.
That's Chris Lomax of Hornell, New York, a legally blind baker who has a clear vision of Christ's role in his life. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.